So do you also use Google Forms and WooCommerce for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to create WooCommerce customer on Google Forms submission. So here I'm running a Edutech company and we offer free courses to all our potential clients, and we use Google Forms to get the registration of these free courses. So now what I want is that as soon as a potential client registers for a free course with the help of Google Form, automatically with the help of the same details, a new customer should be created in my WooCommerce too. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and WooCommerce. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen.
Welcome to my screen, everyone. So if you are looking to streamline your e-commerce workflow, I have a solution for you. So by connecting your Google Forms to WooCommerce, you can automatically create customers in your WooCommerce store based on Google Forms submission. This automation simplifies customer management, saves time, and ensure no potential customer is missed. So let me guide you and show you how it's done with a really simple example. So as you can see that my name is Smart Lead and I'm going to register for the free course which the Edutech company is offering. Okay, so I'm just going to click on submit right over here, and as soon as we're going to click on submit, you can see that we have successfully submitted this form. So now I'm going to open my WooCommerce customers, and over here we are going to look for Smart Lead, which is the name we submitted right now. Okay, so I'm just going to search for Smart Lead right over here, and after searching for Smart Lead right over here, you can see a new customer has been created with the name Smart Lead automatically. I'm just going to open it right from here. You can see that it is created in real time. Yes, without any manual efforts, within few seconds you can see the same name which we entered and the same email which we entered. So yes, this is the automation we are going to learn in today's tutorial, and if you also want to create this automation for your business, then you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I have simply opened the landing page of Pabbly by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy, and as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of stars free every month. To here I'm an existing user, so I'm just going to click on sign in, and as soon as we're going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly, but over here in this today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications, which is Google Forms and WooCommerce, right? So I'm just going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account, and as soon as we're going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow, and now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So here I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to create WooCommerce customer on Google Forms submission, Google Forms to WooCommerce, and then we are going to click on create, and as soon as we are going to click on create, it is opening the most important window for automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands, and by this you can also understand that the trigger will give the command and the actions are going to follow the command. Okay, so that's why we can have only a single trigger right over here but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So for my trigger application today, it would be Google Forms, right? Because what I want is that as soon as a new Google Forms submission is made, a new WooCommerce customer should be created, right? So that's why Google Forms would be our trigger, which is giving the commands, and WooCommerce would be our action, which is following the commands. Okay, so now I'm just going to open my trigger step and select the trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm just going to select it as Google Forms. So I'm just going to search for Google Forms right over here, and as you can see Google Forms, so we're going to select it, and now it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. So here what I want is that as soon as a new response is received, my workflow should be triggered or started. Okay, so we are just going to select the same as the trigger event, and now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Forms and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So what we're going to do is, first we are just going to copy this webhook URL, and then we're going to follow this help text, and it is saying log into your Google Form account on which you want to take the submission and make the last question as the required for the trigger. Navigate to the response tab and then click on create spreadsheet icon. Install Pabbly Connect webhooks and add the G Suite app marketplace for integration purposes. Okay, we are going to follow the same. What we're going to do is, I'm just going to open my Google Forms, and we are going to make sure that the last question is the required one. And as you can see, the last question is required right over here. Okay, so as you can see that this is the form I want to create this automation for. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go towards the responses of that form, and after coming over here to the responses, you can see that I'm getting the option of view in sheets. So if you have not linked your Google Forms with your spreadsheet, you are going to get the option of link with sheets right over here. So you have to click on that button which says link with sheets, and then you're going to get this option which says view in sheets. Okay, so now we have to click on this button which says view in sheets, and as soon as we're going to click on this button, as you can see that now it is opening my spreadsheet, and over here you can also see the response we submitted right now as the test submission, right, which is of the smart lead. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, in order to create a connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect's workflow, we are going to use this spreadsheet. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I'm just going to go in this extensions and then add-ons, and then we have to go and get add-ons. And as soon as we're going to come over here to the get add-ons, we are going to add an extension in this spreadsheet, okay, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm just going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. So as you can see, you have to search it the same as I am doing. Okay, so as you can see that we are going to search for it like this and click on enter, and as soon as going to do so, over here you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks extension appeared. Okay, so I'm just going to open it, and as you can notice that I've already installed this extension in my spreadsheet, so I'm getting the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this, you're going to get the option of install right over here, and you have to install this extension right from here in order to create a connection between your Google Forms and Pabbly Connect's workflow. Okay, and after installing this extension, we have to refresh this spreadsheet, and as soon as we're going to refresh this spreadsheet, now we have to go towards the extension again, and as you can see, Pabbly Connect webhooks will appear right over here. And after coming towards here, we have to go towards the initial setup, and as soon as we are going to go towards the initial setup right over here, it is going to ask me to select the sheet, enter the webhook URL and the trigger column. So here you can see the sheet is form responses for me, so we are going to select the same right over here. For the webhook URL, we are just going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow, and now for the trigger column, we have to enter the final data column on which the data is added. So this is the reason we made the last question as the required one. Okay, so now we have to enter the trigger column. So for me, the trigger column is G, so we are going to enter the same and click on submit, and as soon as we're going to click on submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. So yes, with this we have successfully created a connection between our Google Forms and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record, and in order to do this test submission, once again we are going to open our spreadsheet. From the extensions, we have to go towards the Pabbly Connect webhooks, and as you can see, the button of send on event, so we have to switch this button on right from here. And as soon as we're going to switch on this button, now what has happened is that as soon as a new event occurs in my spreadsheet, automatically the details of the same would be sent to my workflow. Okay, so as soon as we are going to switch on this button, you can see a tick mark will appear right over here. So yes, with this we have successfully switched on this button, and now we are going to do the test submission. So I'm just going to open my form right from here, and we're going to click on preview form. So as you can see that this is my form, and we're going to do the test submission. So over here for the first name, I'm going to keep it as dummy. me. Okay, we are going to move on forward. For the last name, I'm going to keep it as lead. So I'm going to enter lead right over here. We are going to move on forward towards the email address. For the email address, I'm going to keep it as dummylead999@pabblytunes.com. Okay, so I'm going to enter it right over here. And after entering this, we are going to move on forward towards the mobile number. So for the mobile number, I'm going to keep it as this. And now it is saying, how did you hear about this free course? So we're going to keep it as referral right over here. And now it is saying additional comments or questions. So for that, I'm going to keep it as no and click on submit. And as soon as we are going to click on submit, yes, you can see that we have successfully registered. So now what has happened is that Google Forms has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. So I'm just going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response. And yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response. You can see response A right over here, and you can notice all the details which we entered in our test submission. You can see the same first name. You can see how did you hear about this free course answer. Over here you can see the last name, the mobile number, and the email address which we entered, right? So these are the same details which we entered in our test submission, and we have successfully captured the response for the same. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what will happen is that as soon as a new response is received from my Google Forms, automatically Pabbly is going to capture the response for the same and trigger this workflow. Okay, so now we're going to move on forward. Now what I want is I want to create WooCommerce customer on Google Forms submission. So for the action application, we are going to select it as WooCommerce. So I'm just going to search for WooCommerce right over here. And as you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And now it is asking me for the action event. So for the action event, we are going to select it as add new customer and click on connect. And as soon as we are going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your WooCommerce account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the customer key, the secret, and the website URL. And in order to get all of this, we have to follow the help text, and it is saying navigate to your WooCommerce settings, advanced, and then REST API in the WordPress dashboard. Okay, we are going to follow the same. I'm going to open my WooCommerce account, and over here you can see that this is my WooCommerce account. So as you know that WooCommerce is a plugin of WordPress, right? So now after opening this WooCommerce account, from the left side of the bar, we have to go towards the settings. And as soon as we are going to come over here towards these settings, we have to go towards the advanced. Okay, so I'm just going to go towards the advanced, and now we are going to look for REST API. And as you can see, page setup, REST API. So we have to go towards the REST API right over here. And after coming on towards the REST API, we have to click on this add key button. And after clicking on this add key button, we are going to scroll, and now you can see that it is asking me for the description. So over here I'm going to add a meaningful description, which is new customers. Okay, and after entering this description, we are going to move on forward. Over here for the permissions, I'm going to give the permission as read and write, and then we are going to click on this generate API key button. We don't have to change the user. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this generate API key button, and as soon as we're going to click on this button, you can see over here is my customer key and the customer secret we wished for. So I'm just going to copy both of this right from here, and we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting both of this right over here, it is asking me for the website URL. And to get this website URL, I'm going to open my WooCommerce account again, and over here you can see that this is the URL right over here. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this right from here, and this is my website URL, which is before/vp-admin. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this website URL right from here, and we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And it is saying enter the website URL without the ending slash. We have to enter it like this. Okay, so as you can see that we have successfully entered our website URL, and now we are going to click on save. And as soon as we click on save, you can see that we have successfully connected our WooCommerce account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the email, the first name, the last name, username, and many other details. So we're going to enter all of these details, but we are not going to enter these details manually or by copy pasting it, but instead we are going to map these details. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Forms as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here I'm going to give you an example that it is asking me for the email, right? So let's say that I'm going to enter the email right over here manually by typing it like this. Then this will not change with every new response received because this is a static information and I've entered it manually. But let's say that we're going to map the email from the previous response. So I'm just going to look for email in the previous response, and as you can see, the same. So let's say we're going to map the email from the previous response, then this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. And after mapping the email, we are going to map the first name too. Okay, so I'm just going to search for first name right over here, and as you can see, dummy, so we're going to map it. We are going to move on forward towards the last name. Over here I'm going to search for last name, and as you can see, lead, so we're going to map it. We are going to move on forward. We are going to enter the username. So here for the username, I want to map the full name of my lead. Okay, so as you can see, first name and last name, we are going to map the both right over here. First name put a space and then the last name. Okay, we are going to move forward. We are only going to map the required details right over here. As you can see, the next required detail is billing email, so we're going to map this too. I'm just going to look for email in the previous response, and as you can see, the same, so we're going to map it. So as you can see that we have successfully mapped all of these details which were required. And after mapping all of the required details, we are going to click on the save and send test request button right over here. And as soon as we're going to click on save and send test request button right over here, yes, you can see that we have successfully created a new customer in our WooCommerce account with the same details which we entered right over here in our workflow. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open my WooCommerce account. Over here we are going to go towards the customers, and after coming towards the customer, we are going to search for dummy lead. So I'm just going to search for dummy lead right over here, and yes, you can see that we have successfully created a new customer with the name dummy lead right over here. You can see all of the details which we entered. You can see the same email address, and over here you can see the same first name and the last name, right? So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what will happen is that as soon as a new response is received from my Google Forms, automatically a new customer would be created in my WooCommerce without any manual efforts. This workflow is going to run in backend and we can just sit back and relax. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. But now I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So for the trigger application, we selected Google Forms. For the trigger event, we selected new response received. For the action application, we selected WooCommerce, and then for the action event, we selected add new customer, because I wanted that as soon as someone fills out this form on my Google Forms, they should be created as a new customer in our WooCommerce. So yes, we were successful with our workflow too, and with this we have successfully completed our workflow and this video. So if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.